Well, good evening, gang, and welcome to It's All About Arts. My name is Glenn Williams, and I'm your host. And to my right and to your left is our new co-host. I am so pleased and honored and privileged to have her here with us, Julia Perciasepe. I wanted to put the hard I in there, but I don't know why. Julia Perciasepe, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Great. Welcome to BNN-TV. Welcome
Thank you.
to It's All About Arts.
I'm very excited to be here.
Well, we're very, very proud to have you here too. It was Suzanne Schultz. It was a great co-host for a long time, and we went through the process of finding somebody, and after an exhausted nationwide search, we're so happy that you're here. How did you find us?
I don't really remember, actually.
I know we put the word out a bunch of different
Yeah.
places and stuff, so.
Yeah, I was looking for something, you know, to do in addition to my full-time job, and this looked like the perfect thing.
Yeah.
So.
Let's get our BNN family a chance to meet you a little bit. What exactly in the arts do you do?
Yeah, I've been involved in the arts for a while, since college. I studied art history, and then when I got out of college, I actually moved to Boston and worked in a really great gallery here, Acme Fine Art. I don't know if you know it. It's a modern American
Where is it located?
gallery. It was on Newbury Street, and now it's in the South End.
Yeah, that seems to be the migration.
Yeah, yeah. It was a really great gallery. And then I went back to graduate school, got a master's in arts and cultural management. And now I work at a great nonprofit in Watertown called Documentary Educational Resources. And we, yeah, it's a name. Yeah. And we distribute documentary films for the classroom, and we've expanded to the home use. And we have over 800 films. Yeah. So it's a huge collection.
What kind of thing are you doing over there at the nonprofit? Are you working with the development of the films? Are you working with what are you doing?
We don't do any production.
Okay.
We do some post-production when we get the DVDs out. I run the fiscal sponsorship program, so we sponsor filmmakers, a lot of local filmmakers, but it's a national program. Right. And so we act as their 501c3 so that they can get funding to make their films. So we're involved in, I want to say, over 40 active films that are currently being filmed and produced around the country and around the world.
Really? So it's not just a local organization. You guys are actually working with people.
Yep, we're international.
Well, that's fabulous. Is it all independent films?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when somebody, let's say there's I know a great videographer, Tim Casey. He wants to do some kind of, he's working on doing a film or something. What is the process? What does he have to do? I mean,
to get sponsorship or just to make a film?
No, I know what he's got to do to make a film. He points the camera in that direction, and someone does something funny. But
well, there's a couple of sponsors in the Boston area. Boston has a really amazing documentary film community. For our program, you basically have to be working on a project that's in line with our mission.
Okay.
And then you submit an application, you know, a typical proposal, maybe a sample of work you've done before. We review it, and if we think it's a good project, then we'll take it on.
What is the mission?
Our mission is to promote thought-provoking documentary film and media for the learning of people and cultures of the world. Oh,
that's pretty broad.
It is. It is, but it's also very specific in a way. We have a lot of niche films. We were founded by two filmmakers out of Cambridge, actually, John Marshall and Timothy Ash, and they're kind of one of the, they're not kind of, they are they are the founders of ethnographic film, which is kind of a genre of documentary film.
So is the documentary's purpose kind of to like educate the populace about different cultures and maybe the needs and different, you know, what goes on in different cultures around the world?
Yeah, we have films that cover topics, you know, social justice topics, to, you know, personal stories about their families or journeys. It really, covers a wide range of topics.
That's great.
But most of them, we try and take on films that are good for the classroom that will teach something about.
Right. And then you distribute these to different classrooms for them to use, art directors in elementary schools, stuff like that?
Well, yes. We'd be happy to. We don't actually
have to look into membership here.
Yeah, we don't do that many elementary.
Yeah, what is the
classes,
target? What's the target group? That I mean, is it when you're talking about distributing DVDs or films to different groups? Is it something in the high school and the college area? I mean, is it?
Yeah. Yes, it's mostly high school and college. We also get public libraries.
Okay.
We also do screenings all over the world, so we get a lot of nonprofits and small art cinemas and you name it, people wanting, if it has some relevance to whatever they're doing, and they want to screen it. So.
Well, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Is there a time limit? I mean, are they full featured films or are they kind of in the hour size?
They're all over the place. We have broadcast length. We also have shorts. We also have films that are, 300 hours long, broken up into multiple.
Tunes, sure.
Yeah. So it really varies.
Well, that's fabulous. Do you do any other kind of art yourself?
I dabble here and there in things.
And where would here and there be?
I've never really considered myself an artist in the kind of professional sense.
Now, you're going to hear me say this a lot. We're all artists. You just haven't been discovered yet. That's the only issue here.
Yeah. My preferred medium is collage.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah.
Oh, my bride Janice is huge in collage. Paper. She gets paper from all over the world. And
yeah.
She does decoupage and she does all kinds. In fact, we were doing collage at school today.
Yeah?
And one of my students slipped this into my pocket.
Oh, wow.
We were doing hearts today. Here, you can have them.
Thank you.
Welcome to the show.
I'll use it in a collage.
Big expense count here, right? You have no idea. That means a lot because a student slipped that to me and said, so collage is do you paint or do photography or do you do films?
I don't. I'd love to learn, but I've always kind of been on the business side of things. Okay. But yeah, I'm a creative person and I love to
that's great.
Get my hands on all kinds of things.
Well, being that this is your first show, there's a small initiation thing you have to do. You have to sing us your favorite song.
What?
That wasn't in the...
I did not sign up for that.
I'm only teasing.
Good.
But you know what? I think it'd be great to get some of these local film makers
definitely.
to come into the program. I think that was one of the things that kind of lit me up a little bit, because I think that not only will we get an opportunity to talk to people that are actually know what a gaff is, but we'll also be able to get some of the messages out there, I think, which I think is so important that we share a lot of that with everybody. Yeah,
and there's some local filmmakers that are doing really wonderful projects, so we'll definitely get them in
There's a
here.
film festival, a local film festival that they have every year or so around, and usually in the past we've had cats come in from it, but this will be nice to have a good connection to it.
And I think the festival that's going on right now is the Arlington Film Festival, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a ton of film festivals throughout the year, so.
So there's plenty to pick from.
Yep.
Is it a growing medium? Is it a growing way of communicating?
I think so. I think people are becoming more and more interested, not only for their own, creative purposes, but also kind of in general. I mean, with the popularity of like The Inconvenient Truth and all of those kind of mainstream documentaries that have really made it.
Right.
I think people have come to realize that.
Well, I also think the introduction of a few years ago, digital.
Well, yeah,
I mean, there was a time when it just wasn't feasible.
Right, it was difficult to do.
But now it's economically feasible to do it at your kitchen table on your MacBook and come up with something of some decent quality.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is that
Anybody can be a documentary filmmaker.
Yeah, yeah.
Really.
Do you find that people are you're getting a lot more?
Not necessarily. I mean, the people who are applying for fiscal sponsorship or distribution are either filmmakers or academics who, you know, have something that they want to document. And so they're not necessarily the best filmmakers, but
I was going to ask that too.
Yeah.
Is there a juried process where you kind of look at it and you go, I dig what he's trying to say, but I don't like how he's saying it.
Yeah. We kind of have two types of films that we take on. One, you know, being an educational distributor, it is mostly about the content. So we do take on films that have a very deep knowledge of a subject, and we can tell that the filmmaker has really spent a long time.
But whether they
film.
use an iMovie or Final Cut Pro, does that come into effect?
We do look at the quality of the production.
Right. Okay, good.
Yeah, we
it's
do.
not on a flip phone or the back of your iPhone.
No, we hope not. No. Yes. So we do kind of have we have a standard, but we do make exceptions every once in a while.
I suppose if the message is strong enough.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and if it's put in a way, but maybe the quality of the work. Do you ever kind of marry, you know, that great videographer with this great message?
We're not necessarily the ones putting them together.
But you know what I mean, though?
Yeah.
I mean, you know, you see a fabulous message, and you know that the passion is there, but the money isn't.
Yeah. Well, I think, you know, that happens a lot when those two things can marry. You know, a producer or a filmmaker can have a personal connection to a topic and pair with somebody who is not a filmmaker but is also really passionate about it.
Are they grants that you give out?
We don't give out the grants. We act as kind of
The conduit to get those people together.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fabulous.
Yeah.
Thank you,
It's
Joanne.
fun.
This
Yeah.
is going to be great.
Yeah.
What was the last movie you saw?
Oh gosh.
If you say Shrek 3, I'm going to...
No. I say 4. No.
Well, the last one I saw was Despicable Me 2.
Hey, that sounds great.
It was awesome. But
Yeah.
we're not talking about that kind of movies.
Yeah.
No, really, what was the last movie you went to see?
I think it was Gravity, which was
It's supposed to be very intense.
pretty. I loved it. I'm a huge space movie
Yeah,
fan,
yeah,
so
okay.
anything set in space, I'll go see.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, you know what we're going to do is we're going to take a couple of minutes to do a little bit of business now. I want to let everybody know that we are coming to you live right here in our beautiful studios here at BNN-TV, and you're more than welcome to join us if you'd like. Give us a call, 617-708-3290. Dave and the great staff of BNN are in the other room with my great friend Ted answering the phones. If you'd like to give us a call and say hello and let us know what's going on awfully in your community, it'd be great to hear from you. Also, I want to talk just a little bit about the great organization that keeps us on the air here. We are so proud of our affiliation with Boston Main Streets. Boston Main Streets is an organization, a volunteer-driven organization that helps revitalize the business district in 19 different areas around the city and thousands of them around the country. What they do is they work with the property owner to make sure that they have the right demographic information so that they can put the right business downstairs. They also work with them, with the business once they get down there to get through that whole signage, the permits, and all the things they need to open up their doors and start doing their business. And then they also have a design, the design committee also has stipends money that helps pay for those improvements to the storefront. And one of the stipulations is that you take the grate down. I know that, you know, when you drive through a community and all the stores are closed up and there's grates down, it's kind of, why am I here? So the message there is that it's not a real friendly or not, you know, an inviting business district. So you get rid of the grates, you get all the demographic information done, and then the promotions committee steps in and starts running events. We just had an enormous, successful event in Roslindale called the Taste of Roslindale. 300-something people. I was honored and had the pleasure to host the event. Steve Gagg and the gang out there do an amazing job. That's the kind of thing they do. They bring people down to the local farmers markets and they do different things to make sure that you know what's going on in the community and see what kind of things are happening down in your community. So if you see a Main Streets organization or someone with a Main Street t-shirt, thank them, because they're a volunteer, and they're only doing it because they love their community as much as you do. And one last congratulations to the Main Streets group out in Roslindale. They had the transportation building at the corner of Cummins Highway and Washington Street. They have been working on getting that redeveloped and getting certain stipulations done, and they have taken a huge step forward. It has been declared a historic place. And it's the same kind of building we're in here at BNN, which we'll talk about in just a second. So now it has a plaque on it that says, from no longer can knock it down.
Very cool.
Right, so I can unchain myself from the front of the building now. They're not going to tear it down anymore. But I also want to tell you about BNN-TV. BNN-TV is a great organization here. What they do here is you can become a member, or if you have a nonprofit out in Arlington and you want to do a show here to talk about your mission and you want to get, information out to different people, this is the place to do it. You'd come here and you'd do a half an hour or an hour show, and you'd bring in your mission statement, you'd bring people in to talk about what it is you're going to be doing and stuff, and get the message out there. And the other side is if you become a member, you can take Final Cut Pro, all the lighting and all the information on these great cameras. You take classes on this and how to do shoots outside. Do your own shoot, edit your own program, and we put it on TV. So this is like the greatest place in the world for that kind of message and that kind of thing. And I've been a member here for quite a long time now. I've had the honor to work in the background of of everything with the great Curtis Henderson and this unbelievable board of directors that help keep this place going. So listen, if you want to get involved in that, you can go to www.bnntv.org. Click on Janice Williams' name. She has all the information as far as what the ins and outs are to become a member here, and that's where you go to get that done. Also, I want to tell you that if you want to see this very program will be up on YouTube. I've had many people call from all over the area because we do stream live now at that www.bnntv.org. And if you go to the YouTube channel, there it is. It's All About Arts 1. It has all past shows. It has all different kinds of things on there. So if you want to see what's been going on and what we've been doing for the last 16 years, that's the place to go. Any questions?
Nope.
Did I get it all in there?
You got it all.
I think I got it all in there. Well, we are off on a new adventure with Julia, and we are very, very fortunate to have her on for a bit. We'll see how, she's going to be great. I just know it, don't you?
I do. I have a good feeling.
Okay, that's good. This isn't a tryout, you're in. I hope you know that. Okay. Listen, gang, you're watching BNN TV's It's All About Arts. My name is Glenn, and this is Julia. We're going to be with you throughout the winter. And listen, gang, hang in there. We're going to be back in just a couple of minutes. We're coming to you live from Studio B. You can give us a call if you'd like. We're at 617-708-3290. Sit back and relax. We'll be back in just a couple of minutes. Thanks.
There comes a time when everybody needs to be with someone. Now's the time when I have realized you're that someone. How could I have been so blind when you have been there wanna take a real close look at all the things that you've done for me. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Now how could I have been so blind when you have been there all this time? I need you, I want you. Can I have you by my side? 'Cause I love you and I want you. You gotta let me have you by my side. By my side.
Well, thank you very much for hanging in there with us, gang. Thank you for coming back. My name is Glenn Williams. You're watching BNN-TV's It's All About Arts, and I do want to remind everybody, look, we did get a phone call, and we are going to address your question. Thank you, sir, for calling in. I appreciate it. And when Julia comes back, we'll talk a bit about that right now. I do want to remind everybody, though, that if you do want to see this show, you can see it tomorrow, starting in the afternoon tomorrow at YouTube at It's All About Arts 1. And now it's my great pleasure and honor to introduce our first guest, John Quatrale. Hi, John. How are you?
Hi.
Welcome to the studio. Thank you for being here.
You're welcome.
Tell me a little bit. You've got a very cool. I guess it's an art association. It's an arts support. Tell me a little bit about what it is that your group is doing these days.
Okay. Well, we've about 9 of us a year ago in October, so 1 year ago, started an organization called Unbound Visual Arts. We're based in Allston, Brighton.
Yep.
And our mission really is to enliven the creative economy for artists and art supporters. And we do that through exhibitions, through education, and through sharing of art.
Oh, great.
So far, in just 1 year, we've mounted 23 exhibitions. And
23 exhibitions?
yes, 23 exhibitions. We've had lots of publicity. Our exhibitions are in public buildings, branch libraries. So we actually started the exhibitions there. No one else was doing exhibitions there until we arrived and said, let's do an exhibition there.
That's great.
So we've now have that spot.
You know, that's incredibly ambitious that 9 of you got together, and in a year's time you've been able to put 22, did you say?
23.
23 art exhibits up. How long does an exhibit stay up? Is it
Well,
like
they're up, well, from as short as 1 month to as long as 2.5 months.
and apparently the call for artists has been very successful.
It's amazing. We knew in advance that there was a big need, at least in our area, for artists that needed an organization.
Yeah.
A lot of artists in Allston, Brighton were without an organization. There is and continues to be an Allston Open Studio.
Yeah, I was
group.
going to say, are you guys connected
And we
to them?
are very connected to them.
Good,
In fact, we're
good.
going to be managing one of the group sites for them.
Oh, excellent.
And in cooperation with Harvard University. So that Harvard is providing the space and we're managing the site.
That's great.
So we have a good working relationship with the Allston Open Studios people. But we go beyond the once-a-year event, which
Right.
is what they do.
Well, you're hanging in different public places that need art.
Right,
Local
right.
coffee shops and
Well,
things
we've
like
got
that?
we have. I'm going to give them a plug if you don't mind.
Please do.
Athens European Bakeries in Brighton and Brookline.
Perfect.
They're two of the best alternative gallery spaces around.
Yeah, yeah.
And the owner is just really spectacular
That's
in
great.
terms of letting us use the space.
Right.
And he provides great receptions.
That's good.
And and actually our last exhibit at actually it's up still now, and the one in Brighton sold 12 pieces, and it's still up, has a couple more weeks of run on it. And we have 2 big exhibits at Harvard. Harvard provides 2
Now,
spaces.
where when you say Harvard, where?
It's Harvard University. It's their what they call
In Cambridge?
It's in the Allston section of.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's-
You
they're
know,
everywhere, aren't
Harvard is now expanding into
They're-
Allston.
they're everywhere.
And they have a major building that's sort of community oriented where they
Okay.
do a lot of educational programs. And
Yep.
they had this little space in the corner, which is like 2,000 square feet.
Right,
so I just said, well, we should be using this for art galleries.
It's
And,
beckoning.
and it was.
Yeah,
You know.
I help run an organization in Rosendale called the Rosendale Arts Alliance, and we hang art in different locations around the area as well. Was the bakery ready for art, or was there any kind of?
Oh, yeah.
Did
Yeah.
you have to put up the railing? Did you have to get in there and make
No.
sure that the walls were
No.
okay?
The only thing we did was we had to put some additional lighting in.
Yeah.
But other than that, well, actually, the two owners, the husband and wife, are both art connoisseurs.
That helps.
Yeah, and so they love art. In fact, they planned, especially in the Brighton store, which is much bigger, that they would always be hanging art and having exhibits, but they just never had the time to do it.
Right, right.
So we gave
So
them...
they wanted it. They were waiting for you.
They were waiting for us. Yeah,
That's awesome.
And so we change the art every 2 months there. They love it. Their customers love it. They look forward to it. We get sales. The artists having a great opportunity. I think in September we actually opened up. I mean, this was my board was going to kill me, but we actually opened 5.
They're not watching.
I know.
No one
we opened,
watches this show.
But I was really proud of this. We opened 5 simultaneous exhibits.
Wow. 9 of yous?
Yeah, 5, and and I looked around. I couldn't find anyone else that had done 5 at one time.
You won't.
Yeah, I know.
You won't. I'd be talking about that too if I were you. That's amazing.
And I was really proud, especially the fact that 3 of them were emerging artists that they were all solo exhibits, and 3 of them had never had an exhibit before. So this was their maiden exhibit, if you will. And
Does an artist have to be a member?
Yes, they do.
Okay.
Except with a few exceptions for some of our larger group shows.
Yeah, group shows, sure.
Those don't have to be members, but for all of our solo shows, they have to be members.
Right.
Membership is very reasonable, and we think it's much more competitive than some of the other big guys.
Do you have to be juried in as a member?
No, we are like we're based in Alston, Brighton, and most of our I think a majority is still. We have 65 members right now. 65 members.
That's
The majority is our Alston Brighton members, but we've got members from Newton and Brookline and Watertown and Cambridge and all the surrounding.
Do you draw
areas.
from that great college on Commonwealth Avenue there, Boston University? Do you have any artists that come from there to help out? They just had a huge show.
We do have a few artists from Boston University.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great.
And we've got a couple from Mass College of Art, a couple from the museum school as well. So we've got very young artists, we've got some older artists, we've got some very experienced artists. We've got artists that are also members of South End galleries.
That's good.
Galatea has, I think 5 of our members are Galatea members as well.
Excellent. Let's go back a year ago. We're a couple of you just sitting around at the local
Pub?
at the local coffee shop and looked around and said, I've been sick of looking at this art. I wish we could hang something different.
Yeah.
Is it as simple as that? Let's just get it done?
It was 2 things going on at the same time. One of us, it was actually 3 of us that got together, and we were sort of looking around to find a gallery. We wanted to run a gallery.
Yeah.
And so,
sounds like fun, doesn't it?
Yeah, it sounds like fun. So we started looking around. We looked in Brighton, we looked in Alston, we looked in Newton, we looked in Brookline. We couldn't quite, and we actually almost pulled the trigger on a space in Brighton, but then we sort of had decided against it for various reasons. And then at the same time, the Alston Brighton CDC convened this group of people in the neighborhood, seeing a need to do something with the creative arts.
Right.
And so that group became the core of our 9 founding members.
That's fabulous.
We got incorporated, right away, and then we filed our tax-exempt
John,
application.
it's so exciting to know that there's that kind of energy, still out there for the arts. I mean, we hear so many stories about this being drawn away, this not happening, and canceling this, canceling that. But it's great to see that there's an organization in Alston Brighton that's going forward in full steam. It sounds like. What's showing right now, and where? What can I expect over there in Alston Brighton area?
We've got 2 very thoughtful exhibits. One, well, they're all thoughtful, but the one in Brighton is a woman, very young woman in her mid-20s, Katie Schultz and called it Finding Reality. And a lot of her work is kind of realistic or semi-realistic, but also very dreamy and very colorful.
Some of my favorite stuff.
Yeah, some of my favorite stuff too. I got to admit, I sort of picked all the work out
Yeah.
for it, and I was,
Yeah.
you know, and I wasn't surprised when she sold 12 pieces.
That's great.
Yeah, we have another one that's on the opposite end at one of our Harvard galleries. Is all very floral oriented, floral still lifes and landscapes and beach scenes.
That's great.
And
Sold 12 pieces. I think I want to join your group. How do I join your group if I wanted to join?
you can go online.
Yeah, how do I do that?
www.Unbound Visual Arts.
Okay.
And you can go right to the membership page. And
Right. If you go to It's All About Arts and click on John's name, it brings you right to that page. You know,
And we also started, you know, in addition to being able to buy membership online, we put 2 exhibits online as well.
That's fair.
And
Oh, that's
you
good.
can actually buy the work right online. And I was so excited.
Oh, I like to look at it and tilt it.
I know, but I was so excited when we sold a piece online just a few days.
I'm joining your group.
Just a few
Things
days
are
ago.
flying out the door. We had a caller who called and talked about public art. Do you guys ever get involved in any public kind of things?
We haven't gotten involved yet, but
Yeah.
we are interested in working on
There's
that
some great
aspect.
space over there.
Especially, I mean, I think our best chance is probably in the Harvard Alston area.
Yeah, yeah.
I call it the Harvard Alston. I shouldn't call it that probably.
No one watches this show.
But there are a lot of opportunities because Harvard is revitalizing that
Yes,
section.
they're moving in a
and-
great direction.
And we think that there's a good opportunity to do something there. But throughout all of, I mean Boston, I think all of Boston probably needs more public art.
No question about it.
Yeah.
John, I
And-
want to thank you so much for coming in. Come back again,
I
please.
will.
You know,
Thank you very much.
and maybe bring some examples of some of the people, and maybe bring an artist with you. That'd be awesome.
great.
Because you told me you're not an artist, but you haven't been discovered yet. I
That's
think
right.
that's what we're going to go with that. John, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it. Don't go away yet.
Okay.
Listen, gang, hang in there. We got another old. Well, I'm not going to say. I'll say it 3 times. Old friend of ours is in the studio tonight, and I'm so proud to have her here. Hang in there, gang. We've got plenty to go. You're watching BNN-TV's It's All About Arts. We're coming to you live from Studio B. My name is Glenn, and we'll be back in just a couple of minutes. Please do not go away. Thank you.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3.
Different view, dream come true. Bolts of lightning from the blue. It's upside down, it turns around. Still this rock and roll fits you. Feel good time, a friend of mine is giving eyesight to the blind. Electric wires, they never tire. They echo from a distant time.
Thanks for hanging in there with us, gang, and welcome back to Studio B. My name is Glenn Williams, the host of It's All About Arts, and we're glad to have you here with us. The insightful player is A very insightful book, written by a very insightful friend. Chrissy, how are you, dear?
Good to
so
see
good
you.
to see you again. It's my pleasure to... How come you haven't been here?
I don't know.
What is that all about?
It's been too long.
It's that super producer I got working for me. We gotta sit her down and talk to her about this. How's things going?
Good, good.
What's new and exciting? Besides this, you're doing well? Everything's okay?
Yep, everything's
See, I
great.
catch up with old friends live on TV. I don't do Facebook anymore. But tell me about this. This is fascinating. I went on the website and I kind of poked around a little bit. Tell me what Insightful Player is. Where are you? Over here. Yeah, right there. Tell me a little bit about what we're doing with this.
Insightful Player is an initiative which includes a book. It's a platform for NFL players to share their own personal message of hope to empower kids.
I like it.
It's all about the kids.
Better be. They're our future.
And yeah, the players are all really humble, and they really care, and they're great guys. They're all wonderful role models.
What brought this up? What brought this about? What was when you said, I think this needs to be told? What was going on at the time?
Well, I was very inspired by my father, who was a high school coach, and he used sports to help kids learn valuable life skills and build character.
Yeah.
And when I first started coaching, a personal and business coach, I had two thoughts. One was, wow, can you imagine where the world would be today if we all had a coach? And the other thought I had, oh, wouldn't it be fun to coach in the NFL? And wouldn't it be great to get more role models out for the kids, right?
Yeah.
So I thought there were two opposing thoughts, and so I pushed it away and been coaching for 10 years, but it started haunting me. Right. And I was getting frustrated with all the role models falling down left and right, and I was very concerned for kids.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, they'll really listen to NFL players.
Right.
So I did some research and found some really good players. And
Oh, there are some really great
Most of
community
them.
people out there. Yeah.
Yeah.
You only hear about the bad, the few things that go wrong. They don't spend enough time talking about, the Jarvis Green guys.
Right, Jarvis is great.
They don't talk about those guys, and they should.
Yeah, I just had coffee with him the other day.
Right out of the hat. I just pulled that name right out.
I know. He's wonderful. He's a big teddy bear.
He's a huge man.
Like you.
Oh, thank you. I know this. I know that this is very important. I run a technology thing for the Boys and Girls Club, and today the question was, what do you want your career to be?
Oh, nice.
And I'm dealing with 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14-year-olds. All the boys want to be basketball, football, or soccer players.
Right.
All of them. And I kept saying, well, you got to go to college for that.
Right.
Well, Michael, so-and-so didn't. And I says, you're not that guy, And then I said, it popped in my head. I said, well, for crying out loud, there needs to be a football player that'll walk in here and say, this is how it's done. This is the way things are in the world, and this is what my experience was. Is that what this is doing?
It is. It's more about their spirit and their journey to reach their dream of making it into the NFL. And some of them had to take heroic steps.
Yeah.
Because they had some really tough beginnings.
Yeah. I'm sure it's called life.
Right.
And is the chance of never mind the pratfalls of the profession, injuries, and always in the limelight and all of this stuff. These are human beings we're talking about as well.
Absolutely.
With children who were sick, with spouses who passed, with houses that burned down. I mean, there's people that have they have real life issues to themselves too.
And they want the kids to know that they're not any different than they are.
Yeah.
They have the same challenges, and they also want kids to really learn how to, work with obstacles and to really, embrace adversity, because they can learn so much. Because it was the adversity, that's the one thing they all have in common, is they welcomed it in and grabbed the lessons from it right away.
Right.
And it was amazing. When I first started interviewing some of the younger players, I'm thinking I've been coaching a long time, I'm much older, been around a lot longer. But whoa, I learned so much from them. They taught me everything.
Well, I can only imagine, and traveling the road you did to put this together, that you probably did learn a couple of things yourself.
Oh, still.
The foreword's by James Brown, NFL's own
Yeah,
And the announcer, the guy that does it.
I love him. I
How
cried.
did you gather all these people together? Besides being Chrissy Carew.
It's a long story, but I first called the NFL trying to coach. I wanted to coach the players, and I did that for a few years. And they liked the concept, but didn't love it enough. So I got really discouraged and frustrated because I felt like God gave me this vision in my heart to really bring this platform for the players to
If
inspire.
there's anything I remember about you, that's all you needed to get this done, was to get a little frustrated about it.
So I got together with some colleagues and then my coach, and to make a long story short, we decided to make the NFL a offer they couldn't refuse, and that was to write some feature stories about their good guys that really care about kids.
Yeah.
And that's how it all began. And I just called all 32 teams and reached out to them. And right when I was doing that, I called Roger Staubach's office and said I wanted to interview him. And they told me to send some information. So I did, and I did a follow-up just to say, I'm calling to see if I can do, schedule an interview with Roger. And they said, sure, how's July 6th? I almost fell off my chair. I thought they'd say no.
This year?
I thought they'd say no. So it was July 6, 2009 was my first interview.
That's when you started it off.
That was, well, I started early in the year, but 2009 in July was my first interview with Roger.
That must have been awesome.
He was lovely.
Yeah.
The poor thing, I kept him on the phone for 2 hours.
And the good guys, they'll sit there and they'll talk to you. They'll spend the time making sure. Who else did you talk to?
Oh gosh, so many. And for locally,
Rashad Davis.
Rashid is amazing. He grew up in the bad section of LA, and his father was murdered when he was 8 years old. He had a duck for cover in his own home. He played for the Bears and the Lions.
Can you imagine?
And, he was a very angry child, and his role models were gang leaders. And he wanted to
it's
be
all
in
that
a
was
gang.
available.
He wanted to be in a gang when he grew up so he could have all the toys. And but luckily, he had really great mom and aunt who brought him up, and they shipped him out of that neighborhood, and he got a really good education. And he didn't even play football until he was a freshman in high school. And he ends up playing in the
That's hard to
NFL.
believe.
Do you believe it? And it was a junior college.
We got our Devin McCourty here.
Yeah, Devin McCourty.
Yeah.
He's a sweetheart.
Yeah.
And I have his twin brother, Jason. And, Devin also grew up without a dad. And he has an amazing mom. And she was just was so dedicated to her kids. And they're both doing well. They do a lot in the community. And they really care about kids as well.
Chrissy, this is amazing. I think this book should you know where this book should be sitting? It's going to be sitting. It's in my office at the Boys and Girls Club.
Great.
I think that's where I'm bringing my copy, because I think it's not long stories. How many players are involved in this?
Well, I have 32 players in the book, and I am continuing to add to the roster. So I have 46 players on the team. So I'm writing book 2.
I'm sure you are.
Yeah, and we're doing events. We're doing school assemblies.
Really?
Yes, and that's
let's talk about the Boys and Girls Club.
Oh, yes.
We have to.
Definitely.
Oh, this is something we should be talking. You know who's the CEO and the president of the board of directors?
Kraft.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. I see him all the time. Josh Kraft.
Josh, yeah.
I'll turn around and there'll be something. His hand will be on my shoulder. Glenn, how's it going? Is everything all right in here?
Yeah.
And there he is standing there. He is so involved. He must love this. This is definitely.
I sent him a book.
I hope so. Chrissy, thank you so much for coming in.
It was so great to see you.
Where can I get it? Can people get it online?
Yeah, Amazon.com, Barnes & Noble, my website.
Yeah. What is your website?
Insightfulplayer.com.
It's all in, huh?
Yeah.
Chrissy, thank you.
Thank you.
Are we going on for a bite afterwards?
Absolutely.
Okay, great. Listen, gang, sit back and relax. Insightful Player. This is a great book. There's some amazing stories in here. You won't watch Monday Night Football again the same way after going through this. Chrissy Carew, thank you so much for being here. Listen, gang, hang in there. We're going to take a really short break, and Julie's going to come back up and talk. We're going to talk a little bit about, we got a great phone call, I guess, Julie. We're going to talk a little bit about public art and kind of where it fits into the community and stuff, and whether it's okay to do or not. Listen, gang, hang in there. You're watching BNN-TV's It's All About Arts. My name is Glenn Williams. I'm your host. We're coming to you live from Studio B. We'll be right back. Please don't go away. Real short mess. We'll be right back.
When I look into your eyes, I can see your mother's smile. I can see the moon and stars up in the sky. I can see beyond the blue. And I can see your dreams come true. When I look into your eyes, I can see the sands of time. I can see the hopes and dreams and all your fears, though they're sometimes filled with clouds. Your eyes have always done me proud. No one told you, bought and sold you this way before. I'll console you, help to mold you. Your confidence we will restore.
Hello, gang, and Julia Perciasepe is back here with me.
You got it.
Perciasepe. I knew I would eventually. That banging it upside my head. I'm Glenn. We're coming to you live from Studio B. That's fascinating. I love to hear that new arts associations are breaking through and making so much success. That is so ambitious. 23 shows.
Yeah, it's really impressive.
I know, because I curate shows myself, and there's so much work involved in it. You know, and our good friend Chrissy. This is a great book, you know, and I'm not lying. It's going right on my desk at the Boys and Girls Club. It's going to be something that, you know, you want to be a ball player, you know, read about this.
I told her she should make a movie. It'd be a great documentary film.
Yes, it would. You know, you're right.
She was into the idea.
Let's think about that. Born right here in Studio B. At BNN. We did have a caller, though. We had a caller that called. I didn't quite get his question. What was it he wanted to talk about?
I didn't quite get it either, but I think the general idea is on the topic of street art versus public art versus graffiti. There's been this debate
the graffiti thing.
for a very long time, and Boston has been kind of in the spotlight a couple of times concerning this debate. One time, a while back, Shepard Fairey, the artist who did the Obama poster, he had a show at the ICA, which has been a great home to many artists who are doing things both in museums and galleries and on the street. He was arrested when he was in Boston because he had done some things outside the walls of the museum, which are technically illegal, and there was a big hullabaloo about it. So I guess my opinion is that I think public art and street art are fantastic, and I think graffiti is great as well. I think the more art we have around us at all times is great. I think, you know, in anything in life, you're going to have people who are going to do negative or bad things. So,
is the negative or bad thing the message, or is it where they're putting their artwork?
I would think either or.
Yeah.
You know, if they're defacing someone's property, or it is a bad message and a kid walks by it or something like that, that's an instance where I wouldn't support it. But there are a lot of venues.
Isn't that censorship?
Yeah. I do believe in freedom of expression.
Yeah, I do too.
But I think there's a responsible way to go about it. If you are an artist and you have something to say and you want it to be a public forum, you know, I think more and more it's becoming accepted, and there are permits and whatnot. Like, I don't know if you've seen the huge Os Gemios mural
Yes.
in Dewey Square.
Yes, I have.
So that's an instance which I think is amazing.
Yeah, but that went through permitting. That went through all
Yeah,
kinds of things.
yeah.
And even in the city of Boston, the mayor has a program. It's called with the not graffiti, but it's kind of mural. The
Yep, he
mural
has the
squad.
mural, yep.
You know, and I think that there's a difference between.
There is.
There's a difference between taking a can of spray paint and going to
Yep.
someone's wall and just putting your initials up there.
Yeah, that's
different.
That's different.
I
yeah.
think that can be considered vandalism. But if
Yeah.
someone comes with 4 or 5 different colors and puts something that is out of my...
I'd be thankful.
Yeah,
Go
we're
for
not
it.
endorsing that kind
Yeah.
of thing, but I think what we're doing is we're saying, you know, yeah, we don't have enough art,
Yeah.
I don't think. That's
And what
great.
is art?
You're right.
Yeah.
Great debate.
Yeah.
Listen, call back again. I mean, that's you've sparked something in this room, and I like it. You also said that you have an event coming
Yeah,
up?
I have an announcement. This Thursday, October 24th, DER, Documentary Educational Resources, sorry, will be having a screening at Emerson's Paramount Theater in the Bright Family Screening Room at 7 o'clock. And the film is called Fumble Talk. It's about peace and reconciliation in Sierra Leone. So it'll be great. And the producer will be there and a professor who is specializing in the topic, and it'll be great
That's
conversation.
We have to make sure we get that information out as well. Well, Julia, thank you so much for being part of us. I mean, this has been a lot of fun tonight.
Yeah, it's been great.
Yeah, it's okay?
Yeah.
Yeah. Good. Well, I think we're gonna have some fun this winter. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Listen, gang, thanks an awful lot for being here with us. Get out there and do something artful tonight. What's the date on that?
October 24th.
October 20th.
Thursday.
Couple of days from
Yep.
now. Get out there. We'll probably link that up to your website. What is the website at the found?
www.der.org.
That's pretty easy. We're
Yep.
going to put that up on It's All About Art, so you'll be able to find that. Listen, gang, get out there and do something artful for yourself. And again, please, as I like to say every week, keep in your forefront of your mind our mothers, fathers, sons and daughters, aunts and uncles, nieces and nephews, brothers and sisters on foreign soil. Please do something artful. Do it for them. They'll appreciate it. You'll appreciate it. You know what? We'll appreciate it too, okay? We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.